Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. I'm in Ikuchi on the test server, going to do another T6 Abyssal Filament. I want to try to get a better time than last time. I actually did a few more yesterday actually, and I managed to get a time of like 15 or... no, actually no, I managed to complete a site in 12.5 minutes, but I think that was because I got quite an easy spawn. But the thing is, you can get good times, but you can also get really bad times. One of the new waves that exists is actually this, the Drekavac waves, so the Triglavian battle cruisers. They have so much HP, they're so tanky, so it takes a long time to get through those waves. That's something that really took a long time. Another time I had only 1 minute to spare, so we'll try to get a bit better than we did before. Like, remember the first time I uploaded to YouTube, I had about 1 minute to spare, so we're going to see if we can just get a bit better than that. I'm running with a different fit, so I'm using a booster, this Pyrolancer here, to get a bit of extra damage. I'm also using a B-type, 2 B-type Multispectrum shield hardeners. I usually use 1 and a C-type, and I'm also using augmented drones to get a bit of extra damage. I don't know if it'll actually do more damage, but we'll see. I think it does do a tiny bit extra damage because I'm just thinking of applied DPS. It does do more damage, obviously, but it's just because of how you got the reduced EM resistance. You usually do get a bit more, maybe. Okay, let's start going. Let's go. We got also minus 70%, so that's good sign. Let's actually get out of the orange card. I don't want to do that. Take out these actually no, just kill this anchoring right here. There's only one anchoring yet, and then I'll go for this starving actually straight away. Let's start shooting heavy missiles, and I'm gonna also loot stuff, so it's gonna be a bit of a simulation as if it's like a real like site. And also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on the bioadaptive caches, so I'm not gonna focus on the extraction caches, because I need to be able to get in. I need to stay in range of my light missiles all the time to be able to do as much damage as possible, because that's the big issue with the T6. It's not really the tank so much, more it's the amount of time you have. There's just so much stuff to kill, so it takes a long time. So that's why I do not want to be out of range of my light missiles, so that I stop doing DPS. And what we're going to do is, if I have spare time on the third room, then I'm going to go for the extraction caches. Another alternative would maybe be to actually use an MTU. So I'm always talking about I hate on the MTU, but actually it could be good here, because you don't have to, like, I won't have to be out of range of my light missiles, so it may be a bit faster. And also considering how much how much EHP there's to destroy, the time it takes to pull in loot probably won't be that long compared to how much time it takes to kill stuff. The reason I'm going for the Vedmax now is, first of all, because of the starving, then also because of how they have a lot of Vedmax on grid. Like, we see 3 other ones, and Vedmax do a lot of damage, and if they spool up, they can do a lot of damage. In my previous T6 run I've done, I've also encountered lots of Vedmax, and they actually can spool up to crazy amounts of DPS. It brought me to about 25% shields at one point, because they just spool up a lot, and if they get a wrecking shot or smashing shot, it can also do a lot more. So you just want to take the Vedmax out as soon as possible. When the Vedmax are off the grid, then it's just smooth sailing, nothing more you have to worry about. And always get close in close range of the transfer conduit, because actually also be in range of my light missiles, because I don't want to have to be out of range. But actually they're on mid reload now, so I'll just forget my drones there, just have them go for the Vedmax, and I'll take out the bioadaptive cache. We can actually go on appraisal after this run and see if assuming I successfully complete the run, maybe I could die as well, then I will actually just check and see how much loot we get from the semi-full clear. Like, I don't want to do a full clear, but I'll do like a semi-full clear. Like, I'll get the extraction nodes in the last room if I have enough time, but I'll only get the bioadaptives on the first room, because I don't want to waste time focusing on the extraction nodes. There is a lot of risks to be had in the extraction nodes, I will say that, but for the sake of time, I want to be able to just focus on the bioadaptives, at least in the beginning. That's what I actually do when I use the Retribution. The Retribution in solo sites can actually have a bit of issue with time, because frigates in general, they don't do a lot of damage compared to cruisers. And if you're only one doing maybe a T2 or T3 filament, sometimes you can have a bit of issues with time there. And also, especially in the T3, I don't reliably do T3s in the Retribution, but I can do T3s in a Retribution solo if I get good spawns. And the thing is that time can be actually a major issue. So what I usually do is the same thing as I am doing here, that I wait for the last room, and then I go for the extraction nodes there. Otherwise, I just go for the bioadaptives. Also, in frigate sites is a bit more like the bioadaptives are most effective, because if you have more of the the filaments, like you using 3 filaments with a frigate site, they can get 3 times loot from the bioadaptive. That 3 times multiplied does not affect the extraction nodes, so that's why when you're using like destroyers or frigates, it's always better to focus more on the bioadaptive. Like, obviously you can get extra stuff from the extraction nodes, but it's more efficient to go for the extraction nodes and cruiser ones. But as I said, because of time, I'm not going to do that, at least in the first 2 waves. You see here, we're already approaching 5 minutes, and we're almost finished the wave, so I think it's a good time. Got a good time here. Here's my implant. So I'm using high-grade crystals, except the Omega. I could use the Omega. It's very efficient because I'll get lots of shield boosting capabilities, but it's a really expensive implant, and I need the CPU implant to be able to use my like fit without having anything any like crazy mods. Let's just make sure that shooting. Okay, I've got this Pyro Lance here as before. This gives me a bit of extra missile damage. I've got these level 4 damage implants, so this is good for extra damage. Usually I use level 3 implants, the 003. The level 4 ones will give me that extra little push with my missiles to be able to do more damage. Thing is, it's unfortunate that there's not a whole lot of drone implants. There's one drone implant that's Creo drone one that gives you a 5% bonus to your drone damage, but the thing is, first of all, it makes your drones a little bit weaker, only a tiny bit weaker. It makes you 10% less HP on your drones, so it's not a big deal. But the thing is, it's only 5%, and the implant costs like over 2 billion. So I personally think, I don't think it's worth it, but it would help also a little bit. 5% extra drone damage is good, especially on the Gila, which all my damage is based off of the drones, or most of it is based off the drones. You can see here 830 DPS, a lot more than my typical T5. But you have to remember, I'm using augmented drones. They do have actually mixed damage types, and it won't be as efficient as using the single damage type. Okay, why is my drone link augment is not on? Yeah, actually, it's probably because I like inserted one of my CPU implants after I bought the ships. That's a bit embarrassing right there. Oh no, I forgot my drones. That's 40 million lost right there if that was on Tranquility. I was just thinking too much about the why my drone link augmenter was not on, but it doesn't really matter here. Okay, now I wonder how this is going to go, because the Sanchez are very deadly. They're very deadly. We maybe could die here as well. We can't lock them up because of the annoying sensor dampening. Let's deploy our drones so we can actually start doing damage straight away. I worry that they're going to do a lot of damage actually, because Sanchez actually have quite a lot of damage application. I'm not into range of the cruisers, but there's mostly frigates here, so we'll take out the frigates first. Should go down pretty easily. Doesn't seem like the Devoted Knight, Devoted Fishes is not doing any damage to me, so we'll just go and kill them from range. It should be quite easy actually. It's more dangerous in the smaller ships like destroyers and frigates, because they have a small signature radius, and these guys have very good tracking, very good tracking. You see, we're always taking damage, so it's like they've got good range and tracking, so it's very dangerous for ships that are relying on speed tanking, because speed tanking is, you obviously have to rely on people not being able to hit you. These guys are going to hit you almost all the time. Where's the bioadaptive? The bioadaptive is over there. Okay, so we just go like around them, and it should be good. Okay, now we're taking a bit more damage because of, obviously more in range, and also because of the cruisers. So the Sanchez is not too bad, actually. I thought they would be bad, but it's probably because I'm in a cruiser, so... Oh, actually, no, never mind. Look at that damage right there. Okay, we have to be a bit careful now. Careful now, don't get too hopes up. It seems like the most damage is actually being taken by the Devoted Knights, the cruisers. So we just have to kill a few frigates, and then we'll actually be able to probably close into cruisers. Because if I close into the frigates, I can imagine they'll swarm me and kill me straight away. This is also something I actually noticed I didn't notice before, that you got very slow. They're very slow, these guys. So you can easily kite them. You see this, they're after benefit, because Sanchez Nation people, they're usually after, but like the bonuses are, they got very good afterburners. But yeah, we've got MWD, so it's not really gonna matter that much. Still, we're still a lot faster than them. Okay, like you see here, look at this range, 70 kilometers, and the frigates, the Sanchez, the cruisers are still doing a lot of damage to us, and they're still applying really well. They're not missing any shots. They're just hitting... Okay, they did miss that a little bit, but they're doing a lot of damage. They're getting a lot of hits in, and that's something that I noticed that is very particular with these Sanchez Nation cruisers. They're very deadly, especially if you want to use them as tiny ships or like frigates or destroyers. I used to run a lot of these retributions in the Abyss, but I don't know now, because the thing is, with these new pirate waves, it's going to be hard because of how good the tracking these guys have, and also that the Angel cartel ships are so fast, so they're going to tangle you or anchor you in place, and they're going to make it so that you are not able to move. It's a bit embarrassing that I lost that augmented there, but I'm being a bit careless now that I'm on the test server. My main focus right now is just to do as much damage as possible. We got a wrecking shot. Okay, let's just go in now. There's not so many enemies on the grid, so we can just go straight in for the cruisers. Okay, can't shoot the light missiles on that guy. This didn't take that long. I mean, it's still 5 minutes. I always like to have that less than 5 minute time, but I mean, what can you expect from the T6? T6 are like the whole new beast when it comes to the Abyss. You can't really do anything about the T6 in terms of time. I expect to do like those like, I do average T5 12 minutes, the T6 barely even completing the site in the time. I think it would be cool if you had a bit extra time, but then again, I don't know. The thing is, like, I don't know. Would it be good if they changed the Abyss timer to 30 minutes? Because I don't know exactly what that would do. I don't think it will be crazily overpowered. Obviously, it would make Abyss T6 running a lot easier, but like, I don't think it would actually make a major difference. It'll make it like obviously make it easier to run the T5s and T6s in mega tanked ships, but like I don't think it'll be crazily overpowered. The only reason I can see is that maybe it'll make so that like if you're hiding in an abyss filament in some like nullsec or something, you'll be there for a long time. But I don't know. I wonder how it would actually change the gameplay if it was actually made to maybe like be 30 minutes, because that would make T6 running a lot more viable. Like, not that I'm not saying it'll not be easy. Obviously, it'll be still difficult because you have to have a really crazy tank ship, but it'll not be so much because you can't really pump out much more DPS than this. It's hard. Like, only the way to go would really be offer some module damage controls, drone damage augmenters, and also the thing is. I was going to say, I talked before about using the C3-X Gurihiba Saitsuo Basilistic control systems, and those give damage to missiles and drones, but the thing is, those are actually not that good when I'm using the light missiles launchers. If I was using like something like heavy assault missile launchers, then it would. The thing is, the light missiles don't do so much DPS, like if you factor in the reload time. So if you have the C3-X, when you factor in the reload time, the DPS difference from using just triple drone link or drone damage augmenters is hardly any difference actually. So it's actually just better to have just triple drone damage augmenters and just rely fully on drones, it seems like, because then you don't have to worry about getting in range of your drones or missiles. Alright, let's go for the Sanchez Nation right there, and we'll go for these extraction nodes here, because in the last one we have extra time, so we'll go for the extraction nodes and just see what we get. We're gonna go at Eve Appraisal because obviously we can't see the full value on the test server, so I'll have to look what the value of the stuff in Eve Appraisal. Okay, they're getting pretty close. Oof, this is annoying. Okay, they've got shield. They're mostly based in shield. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought the Sanchez Nation were armor. Yeah, that's actually strange. I thought Sanchez Nation were armor tanked actually, because they've got all these like Senti A-type multi-spectrum coating for their shields and no, I mean armor. So I thought maybe it would be a bit more armor, but that's not the case. I think that's actually I read something about on the forums that people are talking a lot about like the inconsistencies, because with the Sanchez Nation, like I remember someone complaining once, that was a lot of damage right there. Okay, maybe we'll have to overheat a little bit. Yeah, overheat a little bit right there. Oof, I don't know. Yeah, there are inconsistencies because apparently like Incursion, I think like something like Incursion, I can't remember, Incursion, Asteroid, or Sanchez Nation, they have like one like shield type or like defense type, like in shields or armor, and then I think a different one like in anomalies have a different one. Like, it's not consistent over the board, and especially considering their dead space modules are not so consistent, because it doesn't, they're obviously shield based here, and they're like you either got the dead space armor repairs or not armor. Yeah, actually they've got armor repairs, but they've also got like armor hardening. So this is actually good. This is interesting. You're learning the new mechanics. So it seems like the Sanchez Nation, basically, they've got a really high DPS, and especially the cruisers, they have really good tracking. The frigates, they don't seem to be that good in terms of like their range. You can see here, it's really easy for me to the speed tank. Oh, the thing that augmented is taking a lot of damage. So I'm obviously going to recall, like, even though it's a test server, I'm going to recall the drone because I would not want to lose this even if it wasn't the real server, just to simulate a bit like the time it would take, because I'd obviously if I wanted to save time, I could just let my Augmented Infiltrator fight until he dies. But here I'll just I'll recall them just so that it gives a bit of better simulation. These guys, they remind me a lot of rogue drones. It's very easy to kite the rogue drones, but they do a lot of damage if you get close. But the thing is, the rogue drones, even if you do get close, they don't do so much damage. The only exception would be the spark lancers who do EM damage. I think actually that could also be why they do a lot of damage, because they're doing EM damage, and we're in the EMs, the electrical site. So electrical site will obviously have lower EM resistance. But it's interesting because like you just have to keep range. So I can imagine. Wait, we lost a drone? No, we didn't lose a drone. I didn't deploy it because we lost 2 from the first room. This will actually make it so the after benefits will be very, very. Oh, we're getting a filament cloud. Boost away. This is really fun. Okay, the after benefit based abyss ships, I can imagine they'll be very, very have troubles with the Sanchez Nation ones, because they'll be able to catch up, and they'll also they're also taking the speed boost. 2.9k a second, and they will have they'll probably get shredded because of how much damage they do. The only thing is that they got the cruisers who are kind of like snipers and got really good tracking and range, but the frigates, which are a lot of them, they don't seem to it's going to be very difficult handling them, because you'll just be you'll just be having to take the full DPS because they'll catch up to you unless you're, because they weren't actually that fast. You can see here 700 meters per second. So I don't know if this is maybe their orbiting speed or chase speed, because NPCs in EVE Online, they have two speeds. They have like an orbiting speed and they have a chase speed. So I think the chase speeds are usually a bit faster than the orbiting speed because they're going in an angle, so their velocity is reduced a bit. So I don't know if this 700 right here, they're trying to orbit me or they're trying to just directly attack me. Okay, no, I think this is the chase speed. You can see here, because they were chasing me before, now they're closer, they're going at their orbiting speed like a 400. So now they're chasing at 700. So I think it should be quite easy to still kite them if you have an afterburner fit that goes over 700 meters per second, but it'll be not as easy as using an MWD fit like I'm using. I can imagine there'll be that is an issue with some MWD, some AB fits or afterburner fits. So that's a good thing. Another good thing about using MWD, I'm a big proponent of the MWD in the Abyss. I used to hate it, but like I always was like, oh, my Gila uses an afterburner. Then I just completely changed. I just like, oh, my Gila only uses afterburner or MWD. Okay, so it seems like the site is complete now. That was a decent time. I mean, just over 15 minutes. We didn't get that bad waves. It doesn't seem like the Sanchez Nation waves are that bad. We didn't get bad waves though. We got, you know, what did we get now? We got Sanchez Nation, and then we got some other one in the beginning. I think, didn't we just get Sanchez Nation waves? But we didn't get any bad ones. They're like the Drekavax. I think Charybdis Tyrannus has got pretty bad as well. Bethnic Abyssal Overmind takes a long time to do as well. This is a good time, but I wouldn't say that it's a good representation of the unlucky side of the T6 Abyss, because it can definitely be worse than this, but it's not good either, because, like, for example, if it was good, we would get the Leshak waves or the Rogue Drone waves. Those waves are so fast. They're just so fast. You can finish them in like 3 minutes. Another good wave I also found that's new is the Rodiva wave. The Rodiva wave is when, you know Rodiva is the logistics Triglavian ship. There's not so many that spawn in. So usually how the Rodiva waves is they maybe get like in the T6s then, if they spawn in maybe like 4 Rodivas and like maybe, I don't know, 15 Damaviks. So that doesn't at all take a long time, because the Rodivas, they go down quite quickly. They do obviously do a lot of remote repairing, but still it's not that strong that it makes a big issue in the terms of time. So I noticed actually I could finish a Rodiva wave in like 3 minutes. So that's really easy actually. You just the Rodiva waves are none of those easy ones. So you got the Rogue Drones, the Leshak waves, then you also got the Rodivas as the easy ones. All right, let's check the Eve Praisal fit or the loot we got. So what I'm gonna first do is, so obviously it's not gonna count the cataclysmic ones, but we can like assume the cataclysmic goes for like, I don't know, 30 mil, because most of the current T5 filaments go for like 15-20 mil. So we'll just, let's say 30 mil. I'll put this into Eve Praisal. Okay, let's click submit here. Okay, so that's really good. So the buy value is 144 mil. And then if we add the T6 filament, we've got probably 174 mil. So 174 mil for 15 minutes we spent in this. That's absolutely amazing. This would probably be about 500 to 400 mil an hour. The reason I think, because the T5 on average is 250 mil an hour, but I can imagine when this update hits, it's going to go down to maybe like 400, maybe like upper 300s. First of all, because you're not going to be able to run as many sites per hour as the T5s. Also, because the T6s, people running T6s is going to like influx a lot of provide a big supply of Triglavian based loot. So that's probably going to make so that the prices of them go down a bit. So I can imagine it won't be as like double the amount, because I feel like this is definitely double the amount. In fact, all Abyss seems to be about double the amount for each tier you go. So I've noticed that for comparing T4 and T5 gives about 2 times the amount of T4, and T4 gives about 2 times the amount of T3. So I'm pretty sure it's the same case here. 2 times the amount of T5 is in T6. Just the thing is, I can imagine the prices are going to change a bit. But then again, you have to also factor in that the cataclysmic filaments are going to cost a lot. So if you get these, this could be like a good loot drop. All right, that's T6 done. 174 mil in 15 minutes. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.